lollygaggers. Another week on tap here, lollygagging sports. I am Bo Reed, along with Samantha Button and Matthew Irby. Samantha, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm still in another time zone. I'm really tired. I am not readjusted, but I'm fighting the good fight here. So I don't really know what time it is. If I fall asleep, I'm sorry. Someone wake me up, and I will finish the podcast.
Those damn Muppets, you know. What do they do to you this time? They snatch you while you're watching the Muppets Christmas Carol, and they bring you back just exhausted.
No, it's I would like to say that I went voluntarily with Muppets because honestly, who wouldn't? But
fair.
It did occur to me that there was no movie where the Muppets go abroad, which is weird, and we need to fix that. Why do we not have a Muppet Grand Tour movie? Why does this not exist? Muppets take Paris. Muppets take London. Why do we not have this movie? So anyway, I'd love to tell you I went with Muppets, but I had to go on my own because there were no Muppets there. So no Muppets in the UK, but we had a lovely trip. I'm still recovering from it because I'm old now and tired. But anyway, I just want to put my pitch out there. Muppets abroad. Somebody do it.
Didn't we have that one Muppets movie where they were stuck trying to get across America, and you get them on buses and things? I feel like I have memories of Big Bird in a Field.
Yeah, you are correct.
I am correct. Okay. I don't know why I have that memory.
No idea, but the idea of Muppets on a bus sounds vaguely familiar to me. But I'm not sure what I'm thinking of. Was he
riding a bicycle, Irby? Was he?
Kermit was, yes.
There was a bicycle in the field. Okay, man. Yep. There's just the tiny little things in my memory that decides they just want to fire up at certain points. Wow, a bicycle in a field. That's all I had, and Irby, you went with it. Thank you.
Yep, this is. I do remember this from our youth, and it's funny. Samantha, on yours, yes. There is no international. However, the Muppets have been to space.
Oh yeah, Muppets in Space. Yeah, remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That is, yeah. We need to get them to. It's funny. As soon as you said that, I don't know why, but Singapore popped in my head. I was like, the Muppets go to Singapore. I don't know why that would work, but I'm not against it.
I'm unfamiliar with what there is to do there, but I'm sure the Muppets could find it. So wherever they want to go, I support that. I just think they need to branch out a little bit. It'd be fun.
I'd like to see what space capsule you're fitting Big Bird in, but that's neither here nor there. All right, well, welcome back, Samantha. Irby, how about you? How you doing?
I'm good. All things great. Niners took care of business, so moving on. Yay!
All right, well, we're gonna get back into some rapid fire. We're going to talk some Stranger Things and have a little fun with some baseball there towards the end. But Samantha, would you like to get us started with some rapid fire?
Sure. We do have some 49ers related things that we need to attend to, so look alive. A little bit of team previews, a little bit of other things. I don't really know how many of these there are. There might be 9, there might be 13. It's hard to say, really. But shall we begin? All right, Bo.
Yeah.
You asked the question on Sunday night.
Oh, boy.
And this is a question that I think many of us have been asking for many years. There was a reason you asked it on Sunday night, specifically. So I'm going to put it back to you now. What is wrong with kickers?
It's like they all collectively got the yips.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's contagious?
I think it is. It is certainly this year anyway. You had some early kicks that went kind of awry. Then you had some of the better kickers start to have some clunkers. I'm not talking about near misses. I'm talking about off the foot. You knew it was wide right or wide left.
Yeah.
Right, and you got good kickers missing extra points. How many extra points misses did we have in the first round of the playoffs? I feel like it was a couple.
Oh, too many.
Yeah.
Irby, what do you think is wrong with kickers?
Overthinking. That's simple. Maybe we need to put blinders on them and just right before they kicked, put him out there. Hey, left hash, 48 yards. Okay.
Like a horse.
Go.
I have a question for you. Do you think kickers would do better or worse if they were kept in isolation during a game and they were not told the score or the situation when they were brought out?
Better.
You think it would be better?
Yeah.
I think we should try this. I think we should test this out.
That would be better, but mainly because of the placebo effect, right? Like,
I
in
think
there,
we should try it out.
yeah. Give it a go. I mean, we got the
Right.
health tent. Let's have an isolation tent for the kicker.
All right. Would you fire Matt LaFleur?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, me too. RB, would you fire Matt LaFleur?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, I don't know why unfortunately. But yes, I think it is time.
Yeah. All right. Who is the biggest fraud left in the postseason?
The biggest fraud left in the postseason. Ooh. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to go with the Texans. Even though last week I said they could go on a run, I still think they can. But of what's left, yeah.
RB?
Is it horrible that as soon as you said that, the first thing came to mind were the Bills?
I thought about the Bills too. I did. I really did. But I just didn't want to
I
go
will
there.
fight you both.
I don't dislike the Bills. It's just like, I don't know.
Okay, well, I also went with the Texans. You can come back to this, but you're not allowed to disparage the Bills anymore. You don't get any no freebies here.
I do want to come back to this, but it's something different. Yeah, I want to come back to that.
Okay, all right. Well, we need to talk about a few things with the 49ers, RB. But you need to weigh in on this too. But the first thing we need to talk about is the fact that apparently someone is claiming the practice facility was built on an electromagnetic field that is weakening everyone's tendons and ligaments, and that is why you're getting injured. And do you think, is this part of a Muppets movie? Like, what are we doing here? Are we being murdered by an electromagnetic field? Did it snap George Kittle's Achilles? Is that what happened? Was it the magnets?
100% yes. I saw this the other day and I was like, of all the things that have happened over the last, 8 years of this going on, it's like, this actually kind of makes sense and everything. It's this or the team is cursed. So
the curse feels more likely to me. I don't know. Bo, what do you think? Is it the magnets? Is it a curse?
I think it's absolutely the magnets, and I could write that script right now. The Muppets save the 49ers. Yes.
Okay.
It's the magnets.
Well, I also need to know your thoughts about the fact that George Kittle drank an entire bottle of tequila, which was brought to him by the owner after he tore his Achilles.
Well,
fantastic.
Yeah, I got nothing wrong with that at all.
I don't really understand how you get there. Hello, dog. I don't know which of your dogs that was. It was not my dog. It might have been one of yours.
That was mine. That was Gunner.
He made an appearance last week too. Gunner's becoming a regular.
He's maybe he wants to talk. Like we should let him speak. So
he was saying electromagnetic.
Yeah, he was agreeing.
The magnets and tequila. Got it. Thank you, Gunner, for that. Appreciate it. Okay, so now before we get into a little bit of baseball, let's run through these games real quick. So tell me who you got here.
Okay.
Bills, Broncos.
Broncos.
Bills. Screw you both.
49ers. Buffalo.
49ers at Seahawks.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm leaning into Seattle here, but I'm not overly confident in the pick.
Someone else will get hurt in the first quarter, so the Niners will win and use that as their rallying cry again.
I'm sorry, I just don't believe in Sam Darnold. You will never convince me of this. Like, there's just nothing that could happen that would convince me. So I'm going 49ers. All right, Rams at the Bears.
Bears.
Rams.
I think I'm going Bears. All right, Texans at the Patriots.
Patriots.
Yes, Patriots at home.
That'll be our first unanimous pick. Yeah, Patriots all the way. All right, let's talk a little baseball before we move on. Okay, the Royals are moving their walls in 10 feet. This isn't really something I have a question about. It's just something that I wanted to put out there. So I guess if you can't get someone else to turn off their wind, you move your walls. So,
yes.
Cool. Glad we did this.
Yeah.
Glad we're here.
That seems right to me. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And then on a more serious note, sort of. So who wins the Scooble arbitration case?
Oh, I think
Now, remember, for the people at home, there's no middle ground here if it does, in fact, go to arbitration. It's either the player wins or the team wins. So they're not going to give you a figure in the middle. So Scooble wants 32. The Tigers want 19. So who wins? Bo, you think it's the Tigers?
No, I think it's Scooble. I think the Tigers.
Scooble.
I think the Tigers really screwed up by not offering him at least the record for a pitcher. And that's
agree.
That's going to weigh on that arbitration hearing a lot. Yeah.
All right, RB, who do you think wins?
100% Scooble, no matter how this is decided, because Detroit, you just screwed that relationship. No way he resigns there when this is all said and done.
Yep.
Yeah,
also true.
This was a terrible idea because he probably would have signed for less if you'd offered him something reasonable. And you didn't, and I don't feel bad for you, and he's never going to resign there. And as your division rival, I feel 0% sorry for you. And I like.
I think I should have said the winner there is Cleveland, Minnesota, Kansas City, Chicago.
Definitely.
I don't think Chicago's going to be able to find a way to make themselves a winner in that. But I'm generally in agreement with you there. Okay, Irby, you wanted to come back to the Bills because you want to hurt me.
No. It's not that. It's come back to that whole question of the front, and then it kind of got answered. What y'all did is none of us picked the Bears. Are we all believing in the Bears now?
Oh, I picked the Bears.
No. I'm saying you picked the Texans
as the fraud. Yeah.
Oh, no, I think the Bears are a little bit fraudy. I also think the Rams are a little bit fraudy. It's just that I watched that guy fumble. Well, I didn't really watch it, to be fair. I did not watch that game because I didn't want to. But that dude fumbled 5 times. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, your offense can't score any points. Like, there are plenty of frauds left here, but the Texans are a clear winner. But okay.
Especially against the New England team that's not going to screw it up. But yeah, it was just interesting that none of us threw out the Bears, and that the team felt like that would have been a slam dunk answer a few weeks ago.
Yes, I agree with you there. Yeah. Would I still pick the Texans? Maybe. I don't know. But I do think it's fair to say that the Bears would have been in the conversation at that point. So yes, agree. Okay. So what did you want to come back to?
Just real quick on the Patriots-Texans matchup. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this group thinks it's the Patriots that are going to take that. It's just one thing I wanted to say about this. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get our first look at playoff Broncos and playoff Seahawks this weekend. So I reserve the right to change this up after I see those two play. But at the moment, is there a more impressive looking team right now than New England in the playoffs?
Not to me. Mostly what I see is a very mediocre field and a Patriots team that I think could pull away from that.
Yeah.
The rest of these guys, I'm not impressed with the Broncos. I'm really not impressed with the Seahawks. Everybody else seems okay. The 49ers would be super impressive if they didn't have, 300 people on the IR.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's right now the Patriots look like the team to beat. Doesn't mean they will end up being the winner. But
sure.
Yeah, they look like the most complete team. And they are undoubtedly the most well-coached team out there, in my opinion.
I agree.
That game spoke a lot for me too. That was not a bad Chargers team. They're not a great Chargers team, but they're not bad. And New England made them look bad.
Yeah.
They made them look real bad.
Well, the Chargers need to fire their offensive line coach. Let's begin there. That's a thing that needs to happen.
Yeah.
But
Justin would agree.
I was like, after I don't know, the 5th hit he took in about 10 minutes towards the end of that game, I was like, I don't know if he's getting up. I don't know if he should get up. If I were him at this point, I think I'd just stay down.
Yeah.
Wow. Yikes. I felt really bad for him. I was rooting pretty hard for New England there, but I felt real bad for him. yikes. It was Bengals-esque.
He would have been justified to throw the ball at his line.
Absolutely, 100%. Anything else? No touchdown pass. We need to touch on that. Or should we move on?
No, nothing for me. Irby?
No touchdown. No touchdown pass. Whatever works. Whatever works.
Beautiful.
Hurt. You got to do what you got to do.
Listen, I think people have forgotten that he was like a heavily recruited high school quarterback. So he actually does know how to throw a pass. But no, we love to see it. All right, shall we move on? We'll move on to Stranger Things.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so we've never talked about the show on this show before, and now it is over. So I feel somewhat obligated to give you a spoiler alert here that we will be discussing the conclusion of this show and our thoughts on it. If you haven't watched it yet, you can fast forward, or you can live with yourself that you've had 2 weeks to do this and you didn't take care of it. So just throwing that out there. But okay, just kind of wanted to talk like final thoughts on this, and like I don't know what direction we want to go in with this. I didn't have a super structured way of approaching this, other than that, I'm just curious. I think everybody kind of wants to throw your sort of final thoughts on how you think they closed out the series. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you change about it? And then sort of what's the next watch for people who are fans of the show? Because I know this is something I'm struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to throw that out there to you guys, and then, throw my 2 cents worth in. But I'm going to throw it over to you. So
okay.
What do you think?
Well, I, for one, absolutely loved the finale. I thought that this was actually a rather, at least in my opinion, this was a rather genius ending, because it gave you almost like you choose your own adventure ending. Do you believe Elle is alive, or do you not believe Elle is alive? And whether or not you want to go through, and you can, and pinpoint things that says, oh, well, no, she's absolutely not alive. When Millie Bobby Brown and the Duffer Brothers are the only people on this planet that know whether Elle is alive or not, that tells you that they intended to have some up in the air here. And I think that's genius for the fans, because now you can pick which one you want to go with. I personally think she's alive, but I know certain people disagree.
Yeah, there was someone on this podcast who disagrees, and he can weigh in on that in a second. I'm with you. To me, I don't even know if I think it's that she's alive. I kind of thought of her as in sort of like an in-between place, as I will quote from Hook and talk about that place between sleep and awake. But I think she's okay. And maybe that's just me needing to believe that. But I don't love things that are open-ended, as in they simply don't tell you what happened. But I do like things that are open-ended intentionally this way, where it's like, look, we're going to give you a bunch of information.
Mm-hmm.
You decide what you think happened. That's a lot different than just like, there's nothing drives me crazier than watching a show where the last episode is just like, I don't know who was the murderer. We're not going to tell you. Like, this is much more of a, well, you have a lot of information. You decide what you think. I like that they left that open-ended. It's sort of like books that are, or TV shows too, where it's like, well, was it really haunted? Were there really ghosts, or was this a human doing this? Like, I don't like when I'm just not given any information about it, but I like when it's sort of left up to me. Like, well, what do you think? You think there was a ghost there? You can, maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. You decide. So yeah, I think that's cool. I liked how they ended this. I think it was the correct ending, I guess, in a lot of ways. And I like that they gave you a little bit of like, look, if you need some hope, you can believe she's alive.
I do too.
I also think she made the ultimate sacrifice. It kind of works either way. So I like that. Yeah. All right. Irby, what about you?
Well, look, first of all, thank you for the Hook reference. I had not thought of that or made that. That was beautiful. That is so good of the Between Awakeness. Thank you. That was well said. I'm literally applauding you right now. Thank you for that.
This is a concept that I'm obsessed with, is between places, sort of like the back of the wardrobe in Narnia, like before you actually get into Narnia, but when you're not there, or if you've read or watched The Magician's The Neitherlands, this is something I think about all the time. And so that's kind of how I think about it now. So
and that's great. That's great. Because yes, I'm the one. I went and saw this in the theater. We were fortunate to be one of the ones that got the theater, went and saw the finale, took the family. They were all loving it so much, and we came out and we were talking about it. My whole family, like you guys, chose Hope, and I loved it and everything. And my wife then looked at me and said, "What do you?" I was like, "I almost don't want to answer, but no, it's the I want to get there, and I will over time get there. And I think honestly, I'm going to choose to be there. There's too much for me that no, unfortunately, she's not. But as a choosing hope, choosing believe, it's just exactly what they did at the end, and then how Mike copes with it, and how he communicates it to his friends, how he communicates that sacrifice was just beautiful, beautifully done. Very in line with multiple aspects of Dungeons and Dragons, especially what this is. Like it really tied in beautifully, and it's a wonderful choice. And logic be damned here. I will choose the same thing of she is somewhere between awake and asleep, and I will choose to believe that.
Nice.
My own logic be damned.
Okay, so I'm gonna. I have just disproved my own point. All right, Irby, I like it. All right, and I'm going to toss this over to you for a second because I know you have some things you want to discuss too. But one thing I did want to ask you guys is sort of like, where do we go from here, right? Like, especially somebody like me. I mean, I think some people like, Bo, you're better at this. You will like kind of screen through TV shows and just check different things out.
Yep.
I am not. I am like super picky and like I hate almost everything. So, but when I like something, I really like it, right? And I really liked this show. So I guess what I'm wondering is sort of like, where do you go after this? Because this is always our question after a really good show ends, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, what am I supposed to watch now? And like, part of me always says, watch something totally different. Like I've been watching Mozart in the Jungle, and that's working for me for now. But eventually I'm going to want to find the next Stranger Things. And I know like the easy answer to this is like the Harry Potter series is coming on HBO, but that's not for another year, right? And, you know, like Greta Gerwig's Narnia is coming. Like these are things that kind of live in the same space, sort of. But like, what do we watch now? You know, like, does anybody have any suggestions, thoughts? Are you struggling with the same thing? Are there some old shows that come to mind that you think would satisfy this? Like, where's everybody kind of on this issue?
So I sent you guys that one the other day called Ponies. Which
I thought looked kind of good.
It does look really good. It's obviously completely different from Stranger Things. It's nowhere near Stranger Things, but it does have a little bit of spycraft in it that looks rather fun. So I would take a look at that one. There's really, as far as I know, and Irby, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't know of much sci-fi fantasy, which is what I would call Stranger Things, right? Very much like a sci-fi, but more fantasy than legitimate, right? Like, so I don't know if any that's out or that's coming.
Well, I think it's sort of tough because it's not like there isn't fantasy out there, right? But this is closer to like magicians, and then like what technically it's urban fantasy, right? Because you're talking about real world rules, but with a fantasy element, right? It's not high fantasy. Like this is not like, I don't know, like
Rings of Power.
Like, but yeah, Lord of the Rings. Thank you. It's not like Rings of Power. Yes, like that's high fantasy, obviously. Like this takes place in our world with a fantasy element, and technically, it's a portal fantasy too, like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or Magicians, or any of those. So yeah, like technically, it meets those criteria, but it's tougher to find. I think mostly because I think it's harder to do than just straight fantasy. Like watching Rings of Power is not going to satisfy your. You know, I miss Stranger Things. They really don't have a lot in common. So,
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I lose, because I mean, look, I didn't jump on the Stranger Things train until quite literally a month ago, and I crushed all 4 seasons, and they got to the 5th and finished relatively on time. I wasn't too far behind you, Irby, on watching the finale. I tend to.
It was impressive.
I tend to kind of tread water, and I'll just go back and rewatch like my favorite episodes until something else comes out that satisfies that particular itch.
If you're new around here, Bo once watched all of Game of Thrones in 11 days.
Yes.
So that he would be ready for the final season. He was a little shaky, but he came through it pretty well. He really did. So this is not even like his biggest one of these.
I didn't.
But yeah,
Like the main thing with that one was this suddenly, like, Arya went from a child to WoW
Oh yeah,
in
I
the
forgot.
final season.
You're right. That was the thing that
That was
upset
the
me.
jarring thing.
He had a total meltdown about Arya in the last season, and Irby and I were like, "Oh, like she's an adult. It's fine." And he was like, "Oh yeah, but you have to understand. To me, a week ago she was like 11," and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I see what happened here. Okay, that's right. I forgot he did have a little bit of a breakdown.
That
It was
was
not over the
bad.
red wedding. It was bad.
it was that.
I forgot about that.
This
One day a therapist is going to go, that's the root of your problem, though.
Well, on the
that
flip
would be
side,
an interesting one to bring to the therapist couch.
on the flip side, I did handle the kids growing up fast as I'm watching Stranger Things better, largely because there was not anything,
Well, that's because Stranger Things does not require you to watch anything like the things that you have to endure to get through Game of Thrones.
That's right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a little different. But okay, so you're going to rewatch. Irby, what about you? Do you have anything you're looking forward to? Are you worried about this? Are you completely pivoting to a different type of show? Like, where are you up to? I mean, I'm clearly watching an orchestra comedy, so obviously I've just given up and pivoted. But what's your strategy? How are you working through this?
No, I'm definitely a pivot. Just because it's funny. We'll kind of get into this later when we talk NFL coaches. It's impossible. Like the next thing. It's weird. I will make the connection. Don't worry. There will be a segment.
I can't wait for this.
To NFL coaches and everything. I got this. Because no matter what, like the next thing, it can't live up to it, and it will be comparable, and that's not fair to the next show.
Right.
I know it's not fair, and that's why. So for me, it will be a pivot, and my wife and I, one with the boys. They've just started Parks and Rec. They've never seen that, so we're doing that as one direction of something completely different, a comedy. And the wife and I are watching season 2 of The Pit.
Great show.
We absolutely loved season 1. Highly recommend if you're into that medical stuff. From somebody that's worked in the medical field, this is about as close as it gets to what an ED actually looks like. There's definitely some liberties taken, some significant ones, but nothing too crazy.
Better have a strong stomach if you're watching.
Yeah, I would rather do something to myself that lands me in the real ER than watch that. That's how I think about medical dramas. But I do understand that it is quite well done. But yeah, no, I'm with you on the pivot. I do this with books too. Like if I finish a really good mystery, I'm not going to read another mystery. I'm setting that book up to fail. So you have to completely pivot and go to a different genre. So I appreciate that. All right, Irby, I'm going to throw it over to you. Stranger Things, thoughts, things you want to get out of your system.
And keep it.
Talk about this. So.
Reel me in and everything as I go too far, because this has been. I was from day one. Watched this from day one, and I watched it. And my wife, as season 2 started, God bless her, she watched season 1 with me again, and she did too. And then I got that look one night of like, I can't do this, and so I moved on and I finished 2, and she came back later on because this became something, and I have 2 boys that are 14 and 12 now. When season 4 was about to come out, my eldest got into it and was hearing about it, and he was a solid 9 months of like, I want to watch this, and I'm like, and finally it really understood and had that conversation of, this actually is a good thing for you to watch going into middle school. Because there's so many things, especially in those first 3 seasons and even later on, but really the first 3 seasons, there's so many themes and stuff. It's like, you're going to be introduced to this in middle school. So why don't we watch it in a healthy setting with dad, and we can talk through some stuff. And there were multiple times that we watched and paused. And I'm like, what do you think's happening here? What are Steve and Nancy doing? And talk through those things. And it was a wonderful bonding. And then later on, my younger one, as he went into middle school, did it, and my wife picked it back up, and all of us dove in. And our Christmas this year was kind of centered around Stranger Things. You know, we all got new shirts that we wore when we saw the finale, and everything. My oldest now has come out last night, and he showed us all he gave us his ratings of every single episode and went through it, and it was well researched, as you guys know him, very well researched in how it was done. And the younger one now is on his keyboard playing the music nonstop, and it's wonderful to hear in the background and everything.
Yes.
It is, but and I mean the music too, both of them. Like, it's just fascinating to hear them listen to songs throughout these, the themes, the soundtrack things, but just the songs throughout the episodes, throughout the years, hearing them do that. So I'm so thankful to have had this bonding experience with those boys. It's something I can never replicate in anything else, especially in the phase of life that they are, that our family has had, and I'm thankful for that. And there were so many things at the end of how it ended. And I know I hear the conversation of it wasn't the best and stuff like that. Well, okay, so one thing, has there ever been a TV show where the final season was the best season?
Nope.
Exactly. It's extremely rare, just because you can't, you're completing the arc. You're closing the character arcs, where all the other seasons you can keep building tension, you can keep building suspense, you can keep building relationships. Here, we got to land the plane. And I feel like they did land the plane very well, where it's, one, it is rewatchable. Two, there are spinoffs and stuff that we've heard a few, and there will be some others. And I'm sure at some point we'll get to the point of, okay, we've had too much, let's stop. If that actually happens, I don't know. But the one of my favorite things that came out of this, and it was a conversation that I've had multiple times with the boys, and it really came into light in Dustin's speech in the finale. Where he talked about they're in Dungeons and Dragons, they, chaotic and good and evil and neutral and all that. And he talked about chaotic bad and chaotic good, and how the chaotic good, the tragedy happened, horrible things happened, and how it built the relationship and it forced them to have other stuff. And what he said, I started talking and making friends with people who were different than me. And what I learned when meeting people that are different than me, I grew as a person, and I absolutely love that, and it's something I've tried to live my life by, and it's stuff that in this podcast right here, the three of us, we have things that we agree on, and then we have lots of things we disagree on. Some of us believe in the Bills, some of us don't, and that's okay.
Are we really people who are very different? Because I am not sure that I think that is true.
Well, but there are. I mean, and that's the thing is there are aspects of things that we enjoy that the others don't, and that's good. It kind of grows, and it's a healthy thing to do of all that. But it was that, and it was wonderful to show the boys and to teach them and to hear all that. But it also, from that speech, I wish I could have gone back and communicated some of the stuff from this to my teenage young adult self, because I was a D&D player. I was quiet about it. I didn't tell a lot of people, and it wasn't out of a shame. It wasn't out of not cool or anything like that. I really don't know what it is. I just didn't tell people. I was like, I was an athlete, so I can't let people know. I don't remember doing that. Maybe it was, but I just wish I could go back and tell that person, it's like, it's okay to have this thing. It's okay. We all have aspects of something that's odd, that's different. Jonathan Byer said that in season 1. Nobody normal ever accomplished anything worth. It's a great thing of yes, we all have these oddities. We all have these strange things. Get it? See what I did there? Yeah, all these things about, and it made me go back and look, and I've shown the family stuff. It's like, I wish I could have told my young self that it's okay that you believed and you played a game with friends and you were Mathar of Kaldascore. Yes, that was my character. I was a sorcerer from the Obsidian Islands, and I found the stuff, and it was my old character and stuff like that, and it was just amazing. And to have on there a sorcerer, it was, our family was warriors. They were peaceful warriors. It was all about melee weapons, and yet I had this ashen diamond in my maul that I was a sorcerer. I didn't want to be. I was confused and stuff by it. And just having Will's character be this innate sorcerer, I got so many goosebumps when that happened. I was like, it was me. It was just things like that. It brought me back to that childhood. And it wasn't even childhood. It was young adult. And it was such a, what these actors and what these characters and what the writers did is it went through, it's such a time period where you're so moldable, so shapeable. And it's things that I explain to the boys, like, it is nerdy, it is dorky, it's okay. You're gonna find your people in life, and it's one here. Bringing it back to you guys, I found my people. We talk sports, we talk Muppets, we talk Stranger Things, we talk all these things once a week. Absolutely love it. It's a therapeutic time that I need, and I look forward to it. Yes, we need our breaks and stuff, but still, I look forward to doing this 50 times a year. And Stranger Things was just a show in our life and my family's life that I'm so thankful for, to have this it was just fun. We enjoyed it. We laughed together. We freaked out together. Oh my gosh, dear Billy, when we thought we lost Max. I'll never forget that. My heart stopped. Oh my gosh. When the screen went black, it was like, she's going to die. Yep. She's going to be okay. She's going to die. What's going on? Like, it was just, I'll never forget that moment. And there's so many others that I'll stop because I could go on.
Yes, we were going to say we have to start. We're going to have to stop you here. But because this show is going to be too long. But I think you hit on something interesting here, which is sort of this idea of, because this is something that hits me all the time when I see things like this. Is like, I wish 12-year-old me could see this. I didn't particularly get this from Stranger Things. It didn't really resonate for me that way. But it is something I think about all the time when I read a book or I watch a show or a movie or whatever, and I'm thinking, I wish 12-year-old Samantha had this. I think it would have made a difference for her. This one didn't really hit me that way. I'm not sure why. I mean, I've never played D&D ever. But it's not really that. It's more, I guess that's just kind of not how I watched this show. Also, the other thing that happens here too with this show, I think, is this is a little bit before our time. So it's a little bit hard, I think, for us to relate to it in that way. But Irby, you kind of made the connection anyway, right? Like, because you played D&D, which I think is cool. And I think that's sort of like one of those things that always sort of makes you get a little extra something out of a book or a show or a movie when you feel like, I mean, there's some sadness to it, right? Because you're thinking, man, what a difference maker this would have been if I had this when I was that age. But also, I think it's kind of cool to look back and say, like, hey, like, I can recognize how impactful this could be. And it's a weird dichotomy with this one, because it's like, obviously we were all taught to think that D&D was like for huge nerds or whatever, but like, this show is really popular, universally popular. So I don't know, have we evolved past calling people nerds for playing D&D? Is that what it is? Or is it just that it's so far in the past that people kind of don't care? I don't know. I'm not sure which one it is. But I think it's interesting either way, and I think it's super cool that this show that actually is kind of dorky, has resonated with so many people who are maybe not into that. I mean, you and I are typical examples. We love nerd stuff. We had a long discussion about J.R.R. Tolkien's editor this afternoon. In case you're wondering if Irby and I dabble in dorkdom, we absolutely do. But I just think it's cool how many people latched onto this. It's awesome.
Well, one thing just to quickly add on here, which you guys, I've just listened to what you guys have been saying, and I had my own emotional pulls and tugs with this series, but the one thing that I enjoyed more than anything, everybody knows I'm an 80s guy. Granted, I was born in 81, so I was a kid when the 80s were actually going on, as was Irby and Samantha, but I'm still tied to the 80s. I want to give a shout out to the Duffer Brothers for putting up some absolute banger soundtracks all through this series.
Oh, yeah, this is interesting because I think you liked the soundtrack better than I did. I was a little bit disappointed because so much of it was like the really obvious stuff, and I wanted them to go a little more obscure. And sometimes they do.
Sure.
Sometimes they do. But I'm telling you, when I heard that Fleetwood Mac at the end of this, if I'm allowed one complaint about the finale, it's that. It's like, knock my head off of a wall. What is every 45-year-old woman into?
Right.
Fleetwood Mac, come on.
Yeah,
man.
That's true.
You gotta do better.
That's true. The one thing they did though, that I thought was subtle, and if you're really, you don't necessarily have to be a child of the 80s. If you are a 80s movie enthusiast, there was some subtlety in how they brought some of that in. You talk about nerds, Revenge of the Nerds was in this, because you had the nerds, the dork squad, beating the jocks. You had a little Revenge of the Nerds. You had a little Red Dawn with the Nancy Wheeler character, who starts off as this innocent high school kid and ends up being one of the commandos of the group as we went through this. I think that they very subtly mixed in some 80s movie vibes into this series that really gave it a lot more power. So
that is very interesting to me, and maybe this is like sort of the power of like good open-ended storytelling, is that I would have cited those exact same things, but I would have cited completely different movies.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So, I mean, but that's cool, right? Like, I think that's cool, the way that they did that. It's sort of like what we talked about with 11 at the end. So,
yeah.
But yeah, very, very cool. Good stuff. All right, anything more on Stranger Things before we lose our entire sports audience talking about our nerd show?
No,
I think you all watched it too. You all love it.
Exactly. Don't sit there and act tough like you. Oh, I didn't watch. No, you did. So just chill out and agree with us what we're saying and move on.
Agree with everything we say and move on. That's gonna put that in 80% mental, 20% ahead. Seance. Agree with everything we say.
All right. Okay. Irby, you want to take us out of Stranger Things? You want to take us out of the Upside Down? See what I did there? You see what I did?
Yes, I did. So yes, back to quote unquote reality and stuff. And let's talk NFL job openings. We got some this season. 9 openings of teams that are now out of the playoffs. One of them was a playoff team that no longer is there. And I kind of divided these up into 3 groups, and we'll go through them. And I want to get y'all's opinion on. Really, it's the job you would take of those, or if you have any candidates in the situation. So, in true D&D fashion, Bo, I'm going to go to you. Would you want me to start at the better options or the worst options? Where do you want to start?
You know what? Let's just start right there in the end of the desert. Let's go with the worst.
Worst option. Okay, so the bottom options in my opinion here are out there would be the Browns, Cardinals, and the Dolphins. The Browns, you got a situation where you got the same GM there. You're still recovering from could be considered one of the worst NFL trades ever, and you have a rotating door of quarterbacks. The Cardinals, same thing, GM in place. Kyler Murray,
both of them.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. Like, what are we doing here? Like, is he done? And you have one of the worst defenses, not to mention the NFC West, where the other 3 teams are still in the playoffs. And the Dolphins, yes, there's an open GM spot too, so there could be some growth there, but a bad quarterback situation, a bad financial situation, and the Bills and the Patriots are rolling. So, which one of those jobs would you take?
You know, from a football standpoint, it almost has to be Arizona because you're going to come out of that. I think you could, if you're competent, you can come out of that hole faster. Miami's just going to have to eat a lot of cash, right? Like the Tua deal was terrible, obviously. They're going to have to eat a lot of cash. So they're not going to be able to do much in terms of bringing in talent outside of the draft. It's going to take a long time to rebuild those Dolphins. Cleveland, Samantha, I honestly don't know what to say about Cleveland. Like every time we turn around, it's like we've gone back 5 years and we're starting over.
Wait, so which one are you taking?
Arizona.
Oh, okay. I would go with Miami, honestly, because you have an ownership problem in both Cleveland and Arizona that is essentially impossible to overcome if you have bad ownership. Like, literally, it is impossible. In Miami, at least you can throw some money at the problem. The quarterback situation is the biggest issue that you have, single issue. Look, they're all bad. I wouldn't take any of these jobs. If it were up to me. I would go to TV. I would sit out a year. I would go into broadcast. I'm like Tomlin. I'm like, no, I'm good. If I'm anyone, I'm like, no, I'm good. But I mean, the Browns job to me is the one that's going to be the hardest to fill. But like, that Arizona job, I wouldn't want that one either. And I think I would throw the Raiders job into this bucket too. It's not as bad as the other 3, but it's close.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
All right, well there you go. And move into the Dolphins was mine as well. There, if I have to, under the assumption of you got to give me 3 years before you expect much, because it's going to take a minute to get us there. So then that middle ground, the Raiders, the Giants, and the Titans. You got a Titans team that you decided Mike Vrabel wasn't your guy. Whoops. The division is favorable. There's some good news there. It's a favorable division to come back in. And if you believe in Cam Ward, who did start making progress, you've got your quarterback figured out. The Giants, is it safe to say dysfunctional? Is that the nice way to say dysfunctional organization that has, yes, I know the Super Bowls, but since that last Super Bowl, zero divisional wins and only 2 playoff appearances. It's starting to become a problem since 2011. And is Jackson Dart really the guy? The Raiders one, I really want to hear what y'all just said about that. Tom Brady is a partial owner and going to be involved in the head coach search. We'll take that however you want to take that. Yes, they made an absolutely horrible decision firing Pete Carroll right away. Just what's going on here? But you've got the number 1 pick, Genty, Bowers, and then Crosby if you want to use them or use them as trade bait. You've got some really good resources here.
Okay, so wait. So are we supposed to be saying? Are we doing the same thing with these? We're saying which one we would take.
Raiders, Giants, Titans. If they're what is the better of the options? Which one? Absolutely not.
Well, I would certainly take any of these over any of the first 3. So correct division of teams here. To me, probably the Titans. It's the least volatile situation. You probably have a lot of room to maneuver there. I don't trust the ownership situation in Las Vegas. The Giants, I think the reason we don't think of the Giants as even more dysfunctional than we do is because they always look good when you compare them to the Jets.
True.
Not a good thing. That is an ugly market to be in if you are trying to repair a broken franchise. So I don't really want any of these jobs, to be honest. I wouldn't take any of these either, but just because I'd rather have them than the others. I don't think I would take any of these either, but if you're going to go after one, especially if you're somebody who's pretty confident working with somewhat of a blank slate, it's probably the Titans job.
Yeah, definitely not the Raiders. Titans, Giants, I actually have to think for a second because the Titans, Smith, I agree with you on the Titans gig. You've got, I think, more flexibility there to go from A to B. But the Giants, for me, it's been, and this is obviously an ownership flaw, right? But it's been ever since Tom Coughlin, it's been the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Right, for the Giants. So if you feel like you're the right guy, which of course you would if you're interviewing with them, right? But right, I wonder, John Harbaugh. I wonder if he would excel there the way Tom Coughlin did. That's something that's in the back of my head here. So I would say I would lean Giants on this one.
Interesting. And be real quick on this. It's fine. I just the Raiders. What's the biggest drawback there for y'all?
It's just hectic.
Ownership.
Yeah.
And then this has nothing to do with Tom Brady. To me, that's a non-factor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tom Brady has either negative or positive impact on this. I think the Davis family is a disaster. And also, why did you hire Pete Carroll and then turn around and fire him when he did exactly what you were expecting? You know what I mean? That is a bad sign. I don't want that job because I saw what happened to the last guy who took that job. So.
Yep. All right. Well, the last group, the last room, the Ravens, the Falcons, and the Steelers. The Ravens here, a team that automatically I kind of still sits as a Super Bowl contender if you take over. But this time there's plenty of talent still on the roster. Lamar Jackson should bounce back. And it's a patient ownership in building the process and building a winner here. The Falcons, tons of talent on that roster. You are entering the worst division currently in the NFL. The 2025 Falcons were, beat some good teams. Like they were looking like the playoffs weren't that far. Like they weren't going to make it or anything, but it wasn't that bad. So where you're stepping in, quarterback is a question mark. You've got Cousins under contract, and what are you doing with Penix? That's your biggest question mark there. The Steelers, you ready what I said I'd come back to? The hardest thing here, 3 coaches since 1969. That means no matter who takes this job, what you're being compared to, like you've got to be successful from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest problem with jobs like this, where it's long tenures like that, is you're going to be everything you do. Well, Tomlin didn't do that. Tomlin did it. Whether it's right or wrong, that's just a comparison thing. But it is a team sitting well in that division. They're financially flexible. Quarterback definitely is a huge question mark for them. Before y'all pick these 3, the one that you'd want to take, it's so weird that Zach Taylor and the Bengals is the only team in that division that doesn't have a new coach and everything. Just random.
I was
whatever.
just shouting. I was shouting about this to my mom this morning, about how the worst coach in the division is the one who still has a job, because the franchise is literally so cheap that they won't pay a coach to go away, and that 3 people who were better at their jobs all got paid.
You're like, whatever.
Cincinnati. Oh,
Yeah.
Poor Joe Burrow. I'm worried about you, buddy.
Yeah.
I want him airlifted out of there. Like, we need to do like an extraction of Joe Burrow and get him out of Cincinnati. Okay.
But yeah, Ravens,
Okay.
Falcons, Steelers. If you're choosing here, which one of these do you want?
Well, for me, it's a no-brainer. I would want Baltimore over these other 2, and that's not even. It's not, in my mind, it's not even close. The Ravens, you get a team that, with proper adjustments this offseason, is a contender. I don't know if you could say that about Pittsburgh. So, no. That's mine. Ravens.
Interesting. I actually have them last of the 3.
Wow.
For me, I think that as long as you're promising me that Aaron Rodgers will not be back, then the one I want is the Steelers job. 100%. It is really stable ownership. Front office has shown that it can bring in talent. I'm not bothered by the whole 3 coaches thing. That tells me that they're going to give me some time to work through it. If I have any confidence in my own abilities at all, that's a great sign for me, right? So that is by far the best job of the 3, as long as Aaron Rodgers is gone. Second, I'd go Atlanta. It's a blank slate. I think there's a lot to be excited about there, but you would have a lot of freedom. That's a good gig. My problem with Baltimore, and again, this is an infinitely better job than any of the ones mentioned in the 2 tiers before this, and of course you would take it if it was offered to you, but my issue here is, number one, we've seen the best of this team at its peak, and peak Lamar did not win a Super Bowl and did not even get there. So that's a problem. Also, I think that there's a GM issue here. I think this is somebody who did a good but not great job for a long time. I think it's stale. I think that needs to be moved on. I blame him a lot more than I blame Harbaugh for the situation there. Anytime somebody fires the coach instead of the GM, my little antenna go up.
Yeah.
And I go like, okay, was this person really incompetent, or is the front office just punching down to protect their own jobs? And I look at that and I think John Harbaugh was still one of the best coaches in the NFL, and you're not winning. I think we can all agree that it's neither of their fault that idiot missed that field goal, right? But they have personnel issues, and there was a lot more issues with that, and so I don't love the front office situation there. So that's why I'm putting that one third. I'm sorry, I know that's a long answer, but I felt compelled to explain myself because I know on paper it looks like, on the surface it does look like the best job, but it's not.
No, that's valid. It's third for me too of these as well. The Atlanta one is the most appealing for me just because talent on the roster and the division right there.
Yes.
You're close. You're close. But
Well,
you have to beat Tampa and Carolina right now. Seriously?
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, I mean, if you want the immediate success, yeah. Yep.
Well, then we'll just all 3 take our spots, and I'll see you in the playoffs.
That's true. You're right. We did just divide those jobs up. For the record, I don't want to coach any NFL team ever, but if we are fighting, that worked out well.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I got. And so yes, I'll see y'all. Well, I'll see y'all in the Super Bowl because I'm in the NFC. Y'all in the AFC.
Yeah, Samantha and I are gonna have to claw each other's eyes out before we get to the Super Bowl, but that's okay.
Listen, I'm even a quarterback, okay? So, like, you're not going to need to worry about me for a while because, like, me and Mason Rudolph aren't going anywhere. So,
See, all I gotta get is a kicker.
you can check back in with me in a couple of years. But for now, it's yours.
All right, well, let's close the show with some baseball, shall we? It's been a while since we've actually had baseball outside of the rapid fire, so we are less than a month away from pitchers and catchers reporting. Awesome.
Yay.
Still got some free agents out there, unless they have signed in the last few hours. And if they have, just let me know that they did. Let's start with one Kyle Tucker. $50 million annually offered from the Mets, but only 3 years. Samantha, where do you think his market's sitting right now?
We're about to find out how bad people don't want to play for the Mets. 50 a year AAV is desperate stuff. And so we're about to find out. Like, amazing. Because I can tell you that he is not worth that. Nobody's worth that.
No.
But, when no one else wants to sign with you, I guess that you can give all of your money to one person. Or maybe someone finally told David Stearns that, like, he is not to continue running the richest owner in Major League Baseball's team as though it is the Milwaukee Brewers, which is why I thought that hiring was terrible in the first place. But yeah, no, Kyle Tucker. I mean, you'd have to be a fool not to go to the Mets, right? Except that only a fool would go to the Mets if they had choice in the matter. So I don't know what to do with that.
I don't either. I feel like the Mets have added a poison pill here. Oh,
yes, that's the problem. Now how do you go somewhere else for like half as much? How do you do it?
Yeah. Yeah. Ruby, go ahead.
I think he's a Met. I think this kid's up with that. Good fan. That's probably what this is going to do because of that money and stuff. But this is it's down to. I feel like let's bring it back to D&D. It's like let's all come up with our stories of how this is going to fall apart. Choose your adventure there because it will. It will.
All right. Next on the list. By the way, we're going hitters and then pitchers. Bo Bichette's still out there. So I guess, Samantha, my question here, this is in your backyard. The Red Sox gave Ranger Suarez a lot of money today. Does that take them out of Bichette, or are they still in there?
I think it probably takes them out, realistically speaking. It's not that they couldn't do it, but it would be tight. It's not necessarily in line with the way that they've been operating and have indicated that they are going to operate. Also, like, Bo Bichette is really overpriced for what he is. I mean, that is a huge overpay for somebody, right? I'm not saying he's not a productive player. I'm just saying he's not worth anywhere near, in my opinion, what he's going to get. So I don't think that's necessarily a fit. And I think the Red Sox basically said, look, here's where we're putting our money for now. So I don't think so.
Irby, how about you?
Oh, where I think he's going to end up? Is that where you're?
Oh, wait. Sorry. Was I supposed to answer that? Silly.
I agree. Yeah, I think it ends up being this ends in Philadelphia.
Man, that'd be God. That lineup already scares me. We're not even in this season yet. Goodness. All right, Cody Bellinger, Samantha. They are in a standoff between Bellinger and the Yankees because I think Bellinger wants a billion years on his deal. Which, okay, man, you're 30. Good luck getting more than 5. Like, right? Like, where are we at here with Cody Bellinger and the Yankees?
This feels toxic, does it not?
Yeah.
mean, it's like there's a part of me that's like rolling my eyes at the Yankees and going, like, really? Like, you guys could just pay him what he wants. Like, it doesn't really matter. But also, in their defense, he's old and injury prone, and he looks like he's about my size. Add an extra foot, but about the same body type. Like, that guy looks like he's going to snap in half if somebody runs into him on the field. That is concerning to me with his injury history. Like, he's getting older. he is a completely different kind of hitter than he used to be, and I think he still wants to be paid like the type of hitter that he was before he had to reinvent himself. And while I applaud him for doing that, I mean, it is incredible what he has been able to do, because he basically just turned himself into a completely different type of hitter. But like, that doesn't pay, my guy. And also, like, why would anyone give you like 10 years when you're the age that you are, with the injury history that you have, and a body type that says injury prone to me?
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I agree 100% with this. Here's the follow up here, Samantha. Who is offering him more than what the Yankees just did?
Oh, somebody will do it.
Right.
Someone will do it. I know the Royals would do it if we would all just give them more of our revenue sharing money. Like, F you, I'm not buying that stuff.
But we moved our fences in. So
Well, yeah, I mean, they did move the fences in 10 feet, right? Surely that's worth a few bucks, a few dollars. If we just turned off our wind machines and gave you all of our money. Okay. I mean, again, like, if he would be willing to accept less years, then I'd almost want to bring Boston back into the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like, because you need the help, you need the bat in the outfield. Like, and if he would take a high AAV and like no years, then I'm like, okay, now I want to bring Cleveland into the conversation, because you could sure use somebody who could play you a solid outfield and like actually make contact with a baseball, if they were willing to take a deal for like a year or two. But like, I don't know, like, I don't see a fit right now. You know, I mean, he's going to get signed, but like, I don't know, like, do we just throw this in the Philly? Oh, if they don't get Bichette, they'll go after Bellinger. But that's
yeah.
You know,
because you say the same thing about the Blue Jays in that scenario.
Sure.
Miss out on Bichette.
Yeah.
Pivot to Bellinger. Yeah. So maybe what Bellinger's really waiting on is the Bichette market to finish.
Yeah, I wonder if don't you think obviously that needs to happen first? But like, we don't really have any other logjam beyond that, right? So it's like, okay, so Bichette has to go, and then Bellinger, because like, I mean, I know they don't play the same position, obviously, but like, aren't you paying for the same thing here? You're paying for
a bat, an
injury prone player whose bat at its ceiling is quite helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. Irby, how about you? What are your thoughts here on Bellinger?
I mean, I'll just add to the teams that are out there. We kind of take the Mets and the Phillies out based on what we said a minute ago. But I do understand the Bichette. If Bichette doesn't go with Philly, I could see that happening. I could see Toronto also pivoting if Bichette market ends and he ends somewhere else. I don't think the Cubs are involved in this anymore with what they did.
No,
and I don't think the Giants will do it either. The fun ones there is, the 7-8 years, the teams that would offer that, if he's fine with the years of getting paid being in the 2040s, then he could be a Dodger again. Get paid till 2040 through 2046. But the one that I can see doing something stupid and giving this guy 7-8 years would be that other team out there, the Angels.
They have had a weird winter. And that's being nice. I can see it. Yikes. Okay. All right. A couple pictures here before we get into some fun before we close. Framber Valdez is still out there, guys. And this is not one I particularly like to talk about, but where do we think this guy ends up?
I think this is going to be a bad team willing to offer a short deal and a lot of money, because this guy's like poison right now. Right? Like,
toxic.
This guy's toxic. Like, he threw at his own catcher. Like, most orgs don't want anything to do with that. So we're looking for somebody who is bad and badly run, who's going to say, like, sure, I have to give my money to somebody. I'll give it to you. Like, is he a White Sox? Maybe. Pretty sure they've spent their money, but like, that's, I think, kind of what we're looking at here. Or does he just go back to Houston? Like, I don't know. They seem to not care about people being terrible in all ways. So, but yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. Like, if he was hoping to go to a competitor, I got news for you, pal. That is not happening.
That feels like this feels like the move where you wait until right as pitchers and catchers are reporting. And his ass comes down far enough for, say, Oakland on a 1-year deal. Kansas City on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
the Rays on a 1-year deal. I think that's where we're heading here with Framber. Irby, how about you?
Well, and then at that point, just like you said, he goes back to Houston on the 1-year deal of somewhere that knows him and stuff like that. Because this is unless there's a team out there that really wants to get rid of their catcher,
assuming Houston wants him back after that incident this year. I mean, that really.
I don't think they do. I mean,
even Houston has some sort of a smell test.
Yeah, right. When the Astros don't want you, the rest of the league's got to be going.
Okay,
yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
The other one that I can see the knee-jerk reaction to the Ranger Suarez news today, does Baltimore knee-jerk reaction here?
Oh,
and
man.
overpay for this?
That would destroy that clubhouse.
If Baltimore ever becomes aware that they require pitching in order to succeed, you let me know.
They finally become aware. We need to add pitches. Let's go get Framber. Guys?
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, I don't think they're going to do this, not for the correct reason, which is, yes, that this would destroy your clubhouse, but I don't think they're aware of that. There is no evidence to suggest that they are. So.
All right, Irby, quick question here. Bigger clubhouse cancer, Framber Valdez or Vicente Padilla?
Ooh, Padilla. Padilla just didn't like anyone in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Samantha, I assume you're agreeing. I'm hearing the yes. So, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, listen, Framber had a tantrum, right? And then he was just done having the tantrum. Vicente Padilla, spent his whole career having a tantrum.
Yeah.
So I'm just playing the odds here. Yeah.
All right. One more, and this one just fascinates me. I don't really know quite yet where to place this particular pitcher in the hierarchy, but I want to talk to you guys about this. Zach Gallen was last year so bad that he has to settle for the 1 year, prove that it was an anomaly contract? Or is he a guy that could get a nice 3 to 5 year deal?
Look, there's a pitching shortage, which is something that we will say 100% of off seasons in baseball. There's never enough good pitching. Right? So if you think there's even a prayer that this guy is fixable, so basically you don't think he has the yips or that he has an injury that can't be overcome, then yes, you're going to pay him for multiple years and you're going to give it a flyer. It's not that much money. So yeah, he'll get a multi-year deal. He should.
I think he should. Yeah, he had a down year last year, but it doesn't appear, at least that I've seen, where there was an injury risk there. He just had a bad year. Irby, how about you?
Yeah, a contender's going to do this. We've seen this before with lesser pitchers who struggled as well. So I absolutely can see a Cubs, a Giants. Do you think the Tigers would do this?
Well, I don't know. People keep waiting for them to spend money, and they're basically standing right there telling everybody that they're not going to do that because they won't pay the one person you should pay. So, if they just want to make that situation worse by giving money to a different pitcher, sure, let's just
that actually makes sense. They win the third Google arbitration, and then they sign Zach Gallen the same day.
And we're going to spend the money on Zach Gallen.
Can absolutely see that.
Teasery. Oh boy. Wow. Team Scooble. But yeah, no, I could see the Giants. You brought up the Giants. Yeah, I could see that happening. That makes sense to me.
All right. Any free agents you guys want to toss out there that is not on my list?
No, I don't think so. What about you?
Nothing major's coming to mind just because we have enough of these guys. It's still too soon to see where oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Real Muto, where that whole thing plays out just because of his age.
Yeah.
Well, interesting question there. So it's going to be Real Muto or Bichette, right? So do you think there's any chance that all this Bichette stuff with Philly is just a bluff to get Real Muto to sign?
Ooh.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that way.
Interesting. No, I hadn't either. which would then push. Oh Lord, okay,
Because they aren't going to do both,
right?
right?
Yeah.
But obviously, it's Real Muto theoretically is a lot more valuable to you, unless you just decide he's asking too much money, but somebody's going to give it to him. But like, I don't know, man. Like, they can't be that stupid, right? Like, you need to re-sign him. You need to. So, yeah.
You just don't want to do too much because that's a 35-year-old. I
Yeah.
have problems with 35-year-olds. 35-year-old catchers are.
Yeah. You got to go, like, you got to be willing to just put a little more at the front, right? A little bit higher AAV, shorter contracts. Like, yeah, get it done.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on. One last thing, Rob Manfred is on record as saying that he's done after his contract is over. So for that, first of all, I'm going to award Rob Manfred a jar of dirt.
Look what I got. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. And guess what's inside it?
You should give us all a jar of dirt because we're all winning. I promise.
It's fair.
I just don't want Rob's jar dirt.
So,
Well, no. Ew.
so it got me thinking, right? Because we've had these high profile players that go on their retirement tour, right? They announce their retirement before the season, and you know, every visiting stop they make, they get some cool gift, right?
Like Derek Jeter.
Yeah. I think my personal favorite gift of all time was the chair of broken bats for Sandman. That was amazing.
Delightful. Yeah.
That was my favorite one. Now, obviously, Rob Manfred does not share the fanfare of Sandman or Jeter or really anyone because of the nonsense that he has done to our precious game. So I thought it'd be fun to come up with some gift ideas. Now, we don't have time to do all 30 teams, so we're not going to do that, but I've got 5 here. And if you guys would like to add a gift to this list, you're more than welcome to once we're done. But we're going to start off right out of the gate. The Las Vegas A's, well, they're still tied to those feral cats, so we're going to give Rob Manfred feral cat poop.
Is it from the Cats or from the A's? Or is it both?
I think I feel like it's...
Is it delivered directly out of a cat to Rob Manfred? Because if they could get one of those cats to come over,
That'd be amazing.
Manfred, that would be so amazing.
That would have to be random though, right? Because if you train it, then it's no longer a feral cat.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you would just have to entice them and let them do their work. I mean, we know that the feral cats have some sorcery going on right there, so they understand. They know.
I think it would be.
They're very
obvious.
aware.
Yeah.
That
they
feral
know
cat
what
would
to
see him
do.
and know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah, they know what.
He understood the assignment.
Yes. Mhm.
All right. The Astros, because, you know, he was so gracious to them after they cheated to win a World Series in 2017. The Astros are going to give him the actual trash can that they banged on throughout the entire 2017 season and playoffs.
They should give him their World Series trophy because he's the only reason they have it.
I was going to say a ring. Thank you for. I was like, they're going to give him a World Series ring.
Yeah.
That's fair. Those are fair. Those are fair additions. Speaking of World Series trophies, because, you know, he at one point he described the World Series trophy as a hunk of metal. Right, everybody remembers that, yeah. So I figured let's go to one of those original baseball teams that has a billion of these. The Yankees can part with one of those early World Series trophies that really are a hunk of metal because there were 4 teams in the league. He can have one of those.
No, but you got to break it though. Like
that's fine.
it's just a hunk of metal, right? You broke it, right? Didn't you break it?
Down into actual just hunk of metal.
Yeah, just like a rock. Like ore. Is it ore? Is that the raw? I don't know. I'm not really up on my metallurgy.
Metallurgy.
But yeah, ore. Do you just give him the ore? Maybe that's.
I would think so.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Someone who works in a coal mine. Call me and let me know. Please don't tell me. No, I don't really need to know. Don't tell me.
The Boston Red Sox have by far the most creative gift. They have a vial of the Curse of Bambino, It's in a cologne bottle that he can spray on his neck. Now, here's the fun part. He can't use it for evil, which is, I know where everyone goes with this. Like, oh, well, you give him something that powerful, he's going to use. No, because the only effects happen to himself. So every time he spritzes that on his neck, we don't really know what's going to happen because it's evil against evil. Not really sure what they're.
You should put it on the handle of a golf club.
There we go. Now you're thinking.
There you go. That's good.
All right, last and certainly not least, the Minnesota Twins are feeling very generous. They're going to give Rob Manfred the Minnesota Twins.
I thought you were going to say that they were going to give him like a quarter because they're broke, but that's even funnier. Like, we will sell ourselves to you. Allow me to introduce myself. That is awesome.
All right, that's my list. What about you guys? Do you have any honorable mentions you want to add here before we call it a week?
I mean, I just assume the Royals are going to present him with a bill, right? Like, we'd like more of someone else's money, and now we're going to take yours. So there's that.
We need your revenue sharing, sir.
They're giving him
Yeah,
10 feet.
like, I'm going to need your cut of revenue sharing, sir. Oh no. And the Rays, I mean, the Rays are going to opt out, right? Like, I'm sorry, we couldn't afford gifts this year. It's going to be like in those Dickens stories.
That, or they'll give them one of those 4 Rays that are actually in the tank.
The dead ones or the nearly dead ones. No, it's very Dickensian, right? Like, I'm sorry, we can't afford Christmas this year, but here is a bit of rag that I found in a outside.
They could give him the roof to Tropicana Field. They have one now. Right? They have the remnants of the original roof. They can just give him that.
Well, you could. I mean, that would be very rag pickery. That's very Dickensian, very Victorian orphan rag picking.
Yeah.
You just pick up some of those shredded bits of the roof. You could do that. Sure. Why not? I mean, or you could give them the dead thing out of the tank. Or the nearly dead thing. Are they dead or almost dead? I'm not clear on that. They could give him DJ Pibby. The punishment, no matter what.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Irby, how about you? Any parting shots you want to take at Rob Manfred before we call it a week?
It's tough to beat your Twins one. Like, that's just great. Like,
amazing.
That and hopefully that's the last tour. That's the last spot.
Right.
What's the gift? It's us. Yeah. And shepherd ankles and all.
looks at the Twins like he's the loser at the White Elephant party. Yeah. I'm stuck with you. Okay. Sure, I'll just toss you in the closet.
That was perfect. That was a good one. Thank you for that.
Oh boy. All right. Well, wherever you're listening to Lollygagging Sports, give us a like, subscribe to the show, help us out with that algorithm so we can get some more lollygaggers in here. But for this week, we're done. We're out of here. Until next week, watch the playoffs. It's good for you.